Mr. Hardeep Puri to please deliver his address.
मंत्रिमंडल में मेरे साथी और मित्र कौशल किशोर जी, हाउसिंग एंड अर्बन अफेयर्स मंत्रालय में सचिव श्री मनोज जोशी जी, एडिशनल सेक्रेटरी और CMD HUDCO श्री कमरान रिजवी जी, HUDCO बोर्ड पे डायरेक्टर्स, बोथ फंक्शनल एंड इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर्स, एडिशनल चीफ सेक्रेटरीज उत्तर प्रदेश से अवनीश कुमार अवस्थी जी, महाराष्ट्र से डॉक्टर PK व्यास जी, राजस्थान चेयरपर्सन राजस्थान स्टेट पोल्यूशन कंट्रोल बोर्ड श्री सुधांश पंत जी, स्पेशल चीफ सेक्रेटरी आंध्र प्रदेश के श्री अजय जैन जी, मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर मणिपुर पुलिस हाउसिंग कॉर्पोरेशन श्री क्रिस्टोफर डोंगल जी, आंध्र प्रदेश सेक्रेटरी फाइनेंस डॉक्टर सत्यनारायण, पंकज कुमार पाल चेयरमैन बिहार सेक्रेटरी रूरल वर्क्स डिपार्टमेंट, and other senior officers who joined us, Shri Vikramjit Singh, Deputy Managing Director KIFB, Shri PB Noor, Chief Executive Officer Life Mission, dignitaries, award winners, my friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen. I am delighted to be here today with you as we celebrate the 52nd Foundation Day of HUDCO. Occasions like this provide an opportunity, and perhaps rightly so, for a certain amount of self-congratulation, and I've heard a lot of that this morning. But I think it should also provide an opportunity for us to reflect back on the last half a century or so and try and think about what we want in the next 50 years. On this day in 1970, the establishment of HUDCO signified the foundation of formal housing finance system in India. HUDCO's mission, when it was conceived, was to provide technical and financial support for housing and urban infrastructure, especially for the poor and vulnerable sections of the society. It is a noble objective and aligned with the core development requirements of the country. But after 1970, I think the urban landscape underwent a fundamental shift in 2014, when the Prime Minister's clarion call for Har Aap Ko Kaam, Har Gareeb Ko Makaan, and the guiding philosophy Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, Sabka Prayas. And I think the rest is history. We often, and I've been a civil servant for 39 years, hide behind those positions which say that we can't do anything, or rather lead to conclusions saying it's not doable. Let me give you an example. Land is a state subject. So we could very easily turn around and say that these 9 additional chief secretaries who have joined us today, developing awas for the poorer sections of society should be left to the state government. But that's not the approach that the Honorable Prime Minister has done. The land is a state subject, but we live in a cooperative federal structure. It is possible for the centre to conceptualize and produce a scheme which will involve the centre giving some incentive, and the state then implement the scheme along with the centre. Now, a target of 1 crore had been set for the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana when it was announced in June 2015. And the Prime Minister stated on that occasion that it was his dream that every Indian, no matter where he or she lived, should have a pakka home on their, a pakka roof on their head, with a proper shauchalaya, kitchen, gas connection, and that the title of their home should be in the name of the lady of the house. Now that initial target, based on a demand assessment of 1 crore, was subsequently revised. It became 1 crore 12 lakhs. Later I saw a figure of 1 crore 15 lakhs. And secretary is here because he heads the committee for the monitoring and sanctioning of projects, CNSP or CSMP. We've done about 122. My figure is already saying 122. Every day I speak, the figure goes up. And the problem is not that. Other people come and say, we want more houses. No, my standard question to them should be, why didn't you make a demand assessment? But demand also rise. But the good news is the scheme has been completed. By 31st March, we would have sanctioned 1 crore 19 or 1 crore 22 lakhs, depending on, I think, some of this involves a little bit of reconciliation of figures, because some states get the sanction and then come back and say they want more, others say slightly less. But it's going to be in the range of 1 crore 20 lakhs. In this process, HUDCO has been not only a partner of the ministry, but it has been providing help. HUDCO's own finances, so that I can make out appear good. But then I have to be cynical. If you are lending to the government, you're not taking much of a risk. And if you're aligned with, schemes which are low risk in them, then you're okay. But I must say, I did not discuss with my secretary, but when he finished speaking, when the secretary finished speaking, I told him, you have said some of the things I wanted to say. Let me simplify it. 50 years is an impressive number of years, but when institutions are built, they are built step by step with the hard work and genius of a lot of people who contributed to it. But institutions are also like a bicycle. Either it is growing, or if it stands still, you have an equilibrium problem. And I am convinced that whilst we celebrate the fact that 19 million residential units have been constructed across the country with assistance from HUDCO in the last 52 years, 1,800 towns and cities have availed of HUDCO support, 92% of the dwelling units HUDCO has facilitated building have directly benefited roads to groups, that's good. But I want to change the perspective a little. And I think one of the previous speakers, Secretary perhaps mentioned it, also. When the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana started in 2015, it was conceptualized in 2014, it started in 2015, we were not thinking of a $5 trillion economy. Today, we are already a $3 trillion economy plus. We will be a $5 trillion economy in the next 2 years, and a $10 trillion economy in 5 trillion to a 24, 25, I'm sure at the rate at which we are going. And a $10 trillion economy in 2030, or thereabouts. Now, when you have a $10 trillion economy, you have 1 or 2 other economies which are bigger, like the United States and China, right? They would be even bigger by that time. US is a $20 trillion economy, China is a $12 trillion economy, they would have grown. But a $20 trillion economy, please reflect back on what it means for the urban sector. I can give you some statistics. In the 10 years of the previous UPA government between 2004 and 14, the total spend on the urban sector, which means on all the schemes that the UPA had put together, was something like 1,57,000 crores. Our schemes, Modi ji's government schemes, started in June 2015, so it's actually 7 years. In 7 years, our expenditure cumulatively on the urban space has been more than 7 times. It's over 11 lakh crores now. Just imagine what will happen in the urban space by when you're a $5 trillion economy or a $10 trillion economy. I mean, you can argue, perhaps unwittingly, that is ghar ban gaya, but there will be building, there will be rebuilding, there will be other things. I think an institution like HUDCO, with some serious introspection by the ministry and other allied agencies, needs to start looking at what the HUDCO's mission, and I think in this the independent directors should also contribute. What is it that HUDCO can do? Let's say in the coming years, some suggestions came that I think, Manoj, you mentioned that you should have a technology arm. You mentioned the lighthouse project. But I can think of so many other issues. There is an entire ecosystem industry out there. And I used to cite a statistic which I have not done for a long time. I can say again today, and I am reinforced by a visit I undertook yesterday to Bombay Heights. You know, we have used in one particular facility 47,000 metric tons of steel, which amounts to building 5 Eiffel Towers. And I put that out on the social media also. And I keep saying that the rate at which we are going between now and 2030, we will be building a Chicago every year. People tend to forget that. And we tend to look at our own achievements, whether it is HUDCO or NBCC. I'm not positioning only HUDCO there. I want NBCC, HUDCO, and everybody else to realize how fascinating the journey ahead can be. And fascinating journey means providing goods and services to those sections of our society who are most in need for them, the vulnerable. Now, all right, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana has sections for the economically weaker section, as for the low income group, middle income group. But these people also, with the passage of time, some of the beautiful sanctioned homes, I've seen them in states. The cost to the beneficiary is not more than 5-7 lakhs. The market value is only 30 lakhs. So, in fact, through this kind of lending and through this kind of infrastructure development, you are also empowering the beneficiaries. Now, as a country which grows, so I think when we celebrate the 53rd Founders Day of HUDCO, I think, Kamran, I would like you not only to look at all the suggestions which have come here, but maybe National Institute of Urban Affairs can organize a seminar, invite our functional directors. I want them to do some out-of-box thinking to see where else can you develop. Everything does not have to be done in the government or through public sector or through the ministry. But you can also interact with the private sector. There are some kind of activities, I think, which more easily lend themselves to action by the NBCC or HUDCO. NBCC is a different design. But we should look at what the urban space, I mean, my distinguished predecessor, the Honorable Vice President, used to talk about urban renaissance. I was a little worried earlier because I thought maybe that's too ambitious. But no, what you are undertaking just now, urban rejuvenation and all the other activities. I mean, look at what is happening in Delhi, what we are planning to do. I know we got slowed down a bit by the COVID, but that has not stopped our the construction of our new Parliament building, which will be ready when we celebrate the 75th anniversary of our independence during the winter session. Central Vista Avenue, all the other development has gone on. What we have done in terms of, land pooling, what we are doing, Jahan Yugi Bhai Makan, etc. Therefore, at the heart of that will be institutions like HUDCO. So my concluding remark, if I may be permitted, HUDCO has strengthened its credibility. It has strong customer relations with state governments and agencies. But as the business environment changes and we see more financial institutions compete to lend to state in the housing sector, HUDCO must become even more innovative. And HUDCO must have retained that edge. And I believe that HUDCO's application to become an NBFC, IFC, infrastructure finance company, based on its present lending portfolio is also welcome sign. I think you have alluded to that already. So here is wishing all of you, congratulating you on what has transpired, wishing all the stakeholders in HUDCO, I don't mean just the award winners today, but all those who cooperate with HUDCO, the state governments, and let us resolve that within the next 3 months or so, we will get inputs from HUDCO itself through interaction and brainstorming on how HUDCO can be reconceived in a even more advanced state as an infrastructure finance company, looking at other models and what else it can do. But I'm afraid in that you will have to become a little less worried about risk. When you have solid foundations, your capacity to take risks should increase, not decrease. Because if you are on solid foundation and you become more conservative, then I'm afraid that the journey will not be upward, but it can lead to plateau. So thank you all very much and all the best. Congratulations for what has already been done. Wishing you the very best. Thank you.